Okay. Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Data Jazz on Tuesdays, so our Data Jazzers podcast. And if you were previously with us, this is our, I think, fifth episode. Is it, Nicola?
Fifth, yes, exactly.
Fifth episode. So we had fantastic guests previously. So, and if you watched any of those, you know we are not trying to be standard Power BI technical podcast. So we aim to provide you an opportunity to get to know people behind those blogs, stars from community, people from Microsoft, who they are, what they are doing, and why are they doing what they are doing. So a little bit getting to know them personally and with lots of questions around Power BI data and probably just in general. And today it's a great pleasure. So last few times we had people from, mostly I think everybody was from Microsoft. And this time we have our community star. So she's really helping Power BI community in all the possible ways. And you saw her blog, you saw her presenting, and let me welcome Pragati here with us. Pragati, welcome.
Hey Nicola, hi Augustin. Thanks for the great welcome, guys. I'm so excited to be here finally at Data Jazzes because I've seen the streamings before and they have been brilliant so far. So yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, as Augustin said. Okay, so I guess we can start slowly. The first thing I would like to ask you to get some more of a background and maybe for people, if there are any who don't know you and what are you doing exactly. So can you describe shortly your Power BI journey? So how did you fall in love with Power BI and so from early days until now, and what are you doing now, of course?
Yeah, definitely, Nicola. I think very interesting question. How my love for Power BI grew. Yeah, so I would just like to start with a little introduction about myself because I'm not sure if everyone live here knows me. So, my name is Pragati Jain, and I'm a data platform MVP, and I'm currently working as a senior consultant at Avanade here in London. I I'm also one of the organizers at Data Weekender conference, which happens twice a year, and we recently did one in May on May 14th. That's the date. And I'm also an organizer at Microsoft Power BI UK group. So any of you guys are looking for any opportunities, you want to speak or you want to start your journey as a speaker, do come and refer me. I mean, just come to me. I'll get you something on our group for sure. So that's just about me. And yeah, apart from as many of you know, like I am very much into Power BI. As Nicola said, that is my love. So yeah, apart from doing Power BI, I also like to do painting. So that's one of the hobby that I like to pursue when I have got some free time. So yeah, that's a summary about me, a quick introduction about me. Now, as Nicola asked me how my Power BI love grew, so a little background. So I basically don't come from an analytics background. So I started my journey, I think 13 or 14 years back. I don't exactly remember now, as a database developer. So I was more into developing databases into Oracle heavily. So that was my background earlier. But eventually I thought I really don't want to do that anymore. So I thought of pursuing masters in data science and analytics. So I came to London 7, 8 years back. I did my masters here and then I entered into analytics industry. So when I first got my first job here in London, I joined them as a data scientist intern basically. And
Wow, that sounds scary.
yeah, that was actually scary. But yeah, after a year long internship, I realized that was not something I really wanted to do because that was not my passion light. So that was something I understood in those 12 months of internship. And then I tried to move into the analytics area. So in the same company, they offered me a permanent job after my internship. I think they love my work. So they just got me a job there. And then they hired me as a data analyst because that was the direction I really wanted to take my career. So obviously when you are into data analytics, you get to work with so many tools. So I started my journey with Excel basically. So I used to do a lot of data wrangling within Excel, but then slowly that organization started to adapt some kind of visualization tool. So they used to work with already existing visualization tools like Tableau, ClickSense, those kind of things, and they had never worked on Power BI before. So the first dashboard which I ever designed in my life was in Tableau. So I have done a lot of work in Tableau before, but eventually the organization realized like the Tableau license is really creating issues for the clients, because obviously we know like Tableau licensing is quite expensive. So they started to migrate to Microsoft Power BI, and there was no one in the organization at that time who knew Power BI. And somehow it was my luck or something, like I was the first person to work on Power BI for that organization. So that's how my love for Power BI grew, because when I started working with that tool, I really found like it has got so many flexibilities and capabilities with very less effort, because sometimes not all visualization tools allow you to, do so many things in it. Because I don't consider Power BI just a visualization tool, because I think it's a wrong term. It's like a complete BI package for us. So that's the thing I like about Power BI, not just visualization, but if I want to do some data wrangling, I want to clean my data, I want to add transformations, I can easily do them in Power BI. So that's where my love for Power BI as a tool grew. And that's why I love it still. I still work on it. So yeah,
Perfect explanation. So you were planned data analyst, but accidental Power BI.
yeah, I mean, not accidental, but could be. Maybe. You can call that.
Yeah, cool.
How, when you're talking about that background itself, so how is it helpful for you coming into Power BI with the background you have, and what are the things you think you bring because of that background?
I think one thing what I really feel from I mean, I was a database developer previously, so I really understand the data model kind of concepts. So that's something I feel like I have added to when I took Power BI as a tool on which I want to work, because I have seen like today, I mean, even I don't know everything about data modeling in Power BI, but still, when you start building a report, the main foundation of your report in Power BI is a Power BI data model. And if you understand the concepts of those dimension fact kind of star schema or snowflake schema, then it's very easy for you to bring that data together. Or if Power BI doesn't allow you, you can actually help the data engineering team to build that kind of model for you, which you can consume in Power BI later. So I think that database developer background has brought that thing for me when I started working on Power BI.
That's good to hear. And one question came to my mind. So you mentioned data modeling. So why star schema? Why is everybody making so big noise of around the star schema?
Oh yeah, that's actually a question. I mean, which has got quite controversies around it. But I think I just love star schema because it kind of helps me align my report and give flexibility to the users the way they want to slice and dice the report basically. So that's the only reason I would like to place here why I go for star schema of, every time when I design a report or the dashboard. I mean, feel free to add because you guys are experts. So you can definitely add to it. Why star schema?
Just collecting. I will try to collect all the answers I got on this and create a session just on that because it will be interesting one.
Maybe we can have a panel discussion about it. Who
Yeah.
agrees to it and who doesn't agree?
That's a great idea. But I guess 99.9% of us will agree. So we need to find opponents
Yes.
to have a good conversation. Yeah. So yeah, you started like with mentioning some of the topics that are important, more important, less important. Now that you, let's say, you have like a solid journey behind you, what would you say if someone approaches you and asks, what would be, I'm learning Power BI and I want to understand everything. So what would be the most three important concepts that you will share with others? Let's say if you have one beginner comes to you, one intermediate user, and one, let's say, advanced user. So what are the three most important concepts in Power BI, in your opinion, of course?
I think as a beginner, yeah, obviously these answers are in my opinion because everyone has got their different journey of starting or working on a tool. But as a beginner, I would suggest if anyone is starting their journey in Power BI, please make sure you understand the basics around why cleaning is important before bringing your data to Power BI, or if you have already got data in Power BI, what basic cleaning steps you really need to do or keep in mind before starting getting on, creating the reports. Because I still consider cleaning the data in the right way is the key to getting the right numbers or insights on your report. Because I know you guys must have seen many blogs people write about why missing values should be replaced in Power BI, or why you should, for example, keep only the relevant columns that are required in Power BI reporting. Not because there could be huge tables, like, for example, a table containing 110 columns related to transactional data, but you can't bring those 110 transactional columns worth data in Power BI because suppose you just need 30 out of it. So what's the point of bringing the whole thing there? So I would say, as a beginner, make sure you understand what is the requirement of your report, and based on that, bring the right and relevant data in Power BI. And after that, once that data is there, make sure you have applied all the basic cleaning steps before you create your report out there. So this will be something I would suggest for beginners, because as a beginner, if you have the habit of doing this, then after 5 years of time, this will be like a best practice for you to do on every dashboard or report you design for a different client. So that's why make this as a habit and do it every time you are doing anything in Power BI, basically. And for the intermediate one, I think um, I would say just try to get your data models right, guys, because I have worked on reports previously, because it happens. Someone else designs a report and the person leaves the company, and then report comes in your ballpark, right? And then you are the owner of that report. And sometimes I have worked on the reports where there is no proper data modeling, and that's why users are not getting the right numbers, or they are not getting the flexibility around slicing the data as per their requirements. So at an intermediate level, I would really say to the people, please make sure you are focusing mainly on the data model, what you're bringing in Power BI, because I think data model concept comes really as an important part when you're working with huge data. When you're working with smaller data, it's fine, you can bring everything into a single file and start with the reporting. But when the data is not in a single file, it is distributed around, say, 20 different tables, and the data is quite huge, millions worth of rows, right? So how Power BI can't handle everything, or you can't import everything in Power BI. So make sure you're getting your data model right so everything works good in Power BI. And as an
For
experienced,
advanced,
right?
yeah, experience.
Advanced
Let's say
one.
experience. That's better. That's better.
Yeah, experienced
Much
or
good to just say.
advanced.
Yeah.
I think for the advanced one, what I think should be the right thing would be focusing on how you basically give users a self-serve environment of creating their reports, and further sharing them in the right way. So, like, for example, here a lot many concepts around Power BI governance come, right? Or security restrictions come. So when you're starting to create your reports, you need to share them in the right way with the consumers, right? So always focus on those kind of concepts, like, do you really need those 10 workspaces, or you can work with one workspace and give different security rights to the different team members, so that they can have the same single report, but they see the data only what they require to see, right? So those kind of securities, like row level security kind of concept. So I would say, I think those are the things, because once you are at an advanced, or advanced level, you are already above creating reports and those kind of things, because you have already done that, right? But the next step comes how you actually give that reporting a better environment, how you share with the people, with the right people, in the right way. So I think I would say start exploring those kind of workspaces, rights, and then row level security, permissions on the data set. So
I
those
thought
kind
you
of
I
concepts can
thought you
really
would
help.
say for advanced to know definitive guide to DEX from top of your head.
Oh my. No, because I myself don't use DAX a lot until and unless I really have a need for it. Because I think, Nicola, honestly, so far, mostly quick measures work for me for getting those trends out and those kind of numbers. I rarely write DAX. I mean, especially if I have to enable an inactive
For everything
relation to
else,
active
there's
relationship
Google.
with the, yeah, or use Google. So DAX is something I really have less experience on it. I would say I'm not that experienced with DAX, because I use it very rarely, only in the cases where there's a necessity to write a DAX expression. So
Yeah,
yeah.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Listening to your answer and everything from end to end, Is there a chance for new joiners to into Power BI world today that they master Power BI end to end? Because I know when I first started with Power BI, it was still in public preview, part of
Mhm.
Excel and so on.
Mhm.
It was such a small product.
Yeah.
Now you have Power Query, data modeling, DAX, security, governance, administration, all those kind of things. So
Yes.
can you master everything? Can you be end-to-end Power BI specialist?
In my experience, Augustine, I don't think one can, because I have been working on Power BI since Power BI came to this world, basically 2016. Yeah, 2016 was the first time I started working with Power BI. So it's been many years I've been working on this product, but still there are some elements like I really don't understand about, like for example, now Power BI can be integrated with so many things like Azure, right? Then Synapse Analytics, that's a new concept that has come here, right? And then obviously every month Power BI brings in new updates. I haven't got chance to go through those updates for last 3 months because I really don't have time, right? So it's like very hard for everyone to master everything, but I always suggest new beginners is like master one area of Power BI which you love most, because I have seen like some people really love creating visuals and different kind of ways to produce that story for the client, right? So I always tell people focus on what you are good at or what you like doing. Like some people are good at Power Query. I mean, they are amazing at Power Query transformation or writing those M codes. Some people are great at designing that governance kind of solution for Power BI, how further after creating the dashboards, how they'll be shared with all the security and right permissions, right? So I won't say everything can master that, because everyone has, because for me, my passion is something I really care about. If I don't have interest in governance, I would never go into that area. It could be helpful in some of the projects I'm working on, but it won't say like if I worked on a project, that's the skill I've mastered. But that was a requirement for the project, so I worked on it. But suppose if my passion still lies in visualizing the data, I would have more mastery on that side, because that's where my passion lies. So yeah, I mean, those who are beginners, don't, I mean, freak about things that are coming in Power BI, because there are too many things, and I'm sure not every one of us know everything here. I'm sure you both will agree to me. Not all of us are expert in every element of Power BI.
I'm
So
completely
Absolutely,
agreeing with
absolutely.
you because I'm asking the question because now this weekend on a session I had in Glasgow on a
yeah,
conference,
yep,
I got the same question after the session and pretty much answered what you did now and was thinking later about it. And I think 3, 4 years back it could be in theory possible, but today I think it's a long gone that you can
yeah.
master
I mean,
everything.
I just feel like Power BI is growing so quickly now, because if I compare to like 5 years back where Power BI was, we had very much limited features in it and it was easy to grasp everything. But now you see every month they're bringing so many big things out there, right? And not every one of us can be up to date with their updates. So it's kind of hard, to be up to date with all the features they are bringing on. And sometimes I just feel like maybe the projects I'm working on, they don't require those kind of things, so I would never go back and see those updates because I don't need them, right? So that's one of the reason I really don't know everything, because until I feel a need of a feature to implement in a real world scenario, I would never go and learn about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
that's
can
that's
I can
another
agree, and
reason.
my 2 cents. I mean, I think it's probably impossible to find someone who
Yep.
knows everything. And like when I say everything, let's say to be master of, let's say REST APIs and
Yeah.
M and Power BI administration and
If there is
DAX.
somebody knowing this, watching our podcast, just let me know. I'm hiring. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'll forward them to you. But yeah, definitely, I agree with both of you. So, yeah, it's hard to be master of everything. In my opinion, it's important to know that some things exist, and then you can go and learn them in more depth if you need for project or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's hard to be master of everything and combine so many different concepts and yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I
sides.
mean, I myself never look at those updates until I need them for something I'm working on. That's what my straightforward answer to the updates is like. I can't keep up with all the updates Power BI brings. Power
Yeah,
BI
would be
team brings
interesting
every
if
month.
audience can also share their opinion about master of everything in Power BI. Is it
Yeah.
possible to find someone, or
And
do
if
you
you
agree
find
with us?
someone, please invite him or
Yeah,
her to your podcast, because
we
I
are
think
all.
I'll have the most question as an audience on your live stream.
Yeah. Okay, so while we are waiting for audience to interact with us, I would like to ask the next question, and I think it's quite important uh, because you are woman in tech. So how does it look to be a woman in tech from your perspective? What are the challenges? What's your opinion on this topic in general?
I think in general, women in technology is like a very vast topic. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys know, I actually had a chance to be on a women in tech panel a few months back at SQL Bits event here in London, and uh, it was like amazing to hear different stories, because that day, because I had three more women with me on that panel, and when everyone shared their story, it was like quite hard to, I mean, relate, because I had a different story to what the lady besides me had. And they had their different struggles. I had my different struggles. But on a general, I would say, like, women in tech is kind of a very vast topic which people actually don't talk much about, what I have seen. Like, take an example. I mean, there are very less women speakers on every event we guys go to, right? I mean, you both are amazing speakers, right? You go to different conferences, different events, different user groups. I see there are very less few women who are there as a speaker on their speaker list, and that is what something I really don't understand why that happens. I mean, I myself is a conference organizer, and I myself know like how hard it is for a woman to come up, because I understand that challenge as well, because not every woman has given the support that, say, I have been given, maybe. So it's hard for people to come up and talk sometimes. Like, I have been in contact with few women, like they are amazing in what they're doing in the technology industry, but sometimes they don't have that kind of courage to come up and speak. Like, I have to literally push few people sometimes, like, come on, you need to speak on this topic because you're good at it, and you don't need to think about what people are going to think about you, because it's not, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself, because you want to make your voice heard among those 100 males sitting in that room. That's the kind of example I try to give to people when they talk about women in tech, because come on guys, it's a reality. Women are actually not given every opportunity, and that's the difference we still see in the industry. I mean, there are examples, but I won't highlight them here. But still women have a challenges, because there could be women who come from a background where they don't have enough, sources to go for higher studies. Like, I was fortunate enough to do my masters, but not every woman has got that kind of resources to go forward and pursue their studies at the first instance. So those are the kind of challenges. And like for example, I come from India, and not every woman in India has been given that kind of opportunity. I'm really fortunate enough that my family doesn't think like that. They gave me every opportunity to pursue my dreams, to pursue the studies I wanted to do, to come here and make my career. But not every woman from, rural areas in India get that kind of, opportunity to make their career, or, stand for themselves. And I'm sure every woman, I mean, we have got, at global level, we know so many good women out there who are doing great in the industry, and they are so inspiring. And I always feel like there should be a way to highlight these kind of women somehow, so that, at least if we can inspire 10% of them as well, then that 10% is going to create a very big difference in the industry.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. I agree. We
so
need
yeah,
to
that
fight for
that's what
each
I
of them.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
each of you.
yeah. And the thing is, I think every one of us in a community needs to at least think of it and be aware of it and try to push things forward. I know
Definitely.
Nicola is just humble, but he's now pushing a
Yes.
great initiative out there. So, Nicola, if you can share a few words, what is it about?
Yeah, thanks. I will steal the show for just 1 minute, Pragati.
No,
I
it's
promise.
your show. Take it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's basically organizing Power BI boot camp, which will be completely free, and it's planned to run this fall during October, November, and December. So it will be 11 weeks every Wednesday. I got so many amazing applications. The only condition was that the applicant is a woman, because of out of 15 participants, 10 will be women, and the remaining 5 spots will be assigned to people who can't afford paid training. So it can be also 5 women, it can be 5 men, it can be mix, but in the end, that's the idea. As Pragati mentioned, I got a lot of applications from India, from China, from women that didn't have a chance to get the proper education or training. So yeah, I was thinking about this, and maybe I can also use this opportunity to thank to both of you guys for jumping in and helping with this Power BI bootcamp, as there will be in the end not 15 participants, at least 45. So that's amazing news. I will share this also later, but still application window is open until midnight today. So if you know someone who can benefit from this bootcamp, just send them our way, and we will try to accommodate. That's it from my side. I promise not.
No,
Yeah, so
definitely, guys. Yeah, if you guys know someone, some women who's really in need of that kind of training or education, do let her put that application and send it over to Nicola, because he's really doing a great initiative and job there. And
and
I mean, it's
hopefully,
really nice to make a life for someone. So always go and do that
hopefully it
kind
will
of.
be a big chance for someone, for a lot of people to
Yeah,
step
exactly.
into the tech career and to make their career here with
Yeah.
us in a community. And talking about those community efforts, so Prati, you are really active everywhere: social media, Power BI
Everywhere.
community forum, answering questions, preparing conferences, speaking on user groups. What motivates you, and how do you find that 48 hours a day to be able to do that all?
I think, Augustine, one big motivation for me, I think there are two, I would say. So when I started my journey in tech industry, there were many people who actually helped me out in doing few things, and there are still people who are helping me out with my career journey here, right? Because I really feel like when you are in need, you should always reach out, because there are people out there, they don't reach out to the experts who can really help them with their career advising, career coaching. So you should always reach out. So that's the biggest motivation I have. Like, there are people out there from the community who are helping me and helped me before in where I am right now. So that's the biggest motivation for me, like to return back something to the community. So that's the way how I do it. Like, like, for example, if you have seen me, I'm pretty active on the Power BI community forum, helping people to get their queries answered related to Power BI. And as Augustine said, I try to take out some time to deliver these user group sessions, speak at the conferences, share something I learned new on LinkedIn and Twitter, those kind of things. So that's so for me, giving back to the community is basically the biggest motivation. And the second one, maybe it's a selfish one, but whenever I learn something and share it with others, people come back to me with questions. So that actually generates a new opportunity for me to learn something new. So that's the second motivation for me, why I really like sharing things with people, because every user group or event I speak at, people sometimes ask me questions which I really think like, yeah, this could be a way of doing things, why I never thought it before. So sometimes I go and learn while doing these things for the community. So it's more like I learn things, so I feel like I need to give back to the community in some way I can. So that's why that's what my biggest motivation is. And obviously the another thing is, I really feel like if there are women out there, then maybe I can inspire at least one woman out there to come up and start her career journey like many of us are doing here. So that's another thing I always feel like doing these things. Like, maybe women will learn from what we guys are doing here, and they can just come up and do similar to what we are doing.
Yeah, that's
Do you
awesome.
have any time for sleep?
Yeah, I get sleep. I sleep for 8 hours. Don't worry.
Yeah, cool. How was your first experience when starting with public speaking?
Okay.
How much time did you need to create a session? I don't know. And how you felt? How did you feel before presenting for the first time? As maybe
Actually,
there are people around listening to us, they are now considering maybe becoming public speakers. So I guess
yeah,
first-hand experience will be helpful if you can share.
definitely. I think first thing, Nicola asking this question because he was the first one who actually helped me in my first session before, guys. So the first ever session which I delivered a year back, Nicola was the person who helped me with few tips and tricks. So this question coming from him, okay, I can say that. So
Okay, I can leave now.
no, definitely not.
Just
I
kidding.
just want to give credit to the right people here because, as I
Thank
said,
you.
there are people in community who always help you. So my experience for first public speaking, obviously, like I have been into consulting for a few years, so obviously I have that kind of thing around speaking to people. That's fine, but when you are presenting a session which has got like say 1 hour window, and in that 1 hour window you only get 50 minutes to deliver your session and 10 minutes for the Q&A. Now that's the tricky part. So for my first session, I actually practiced and recorded my session 12 times, total 12 times. Trust me, guys. And that 12 times was I used to take 1 hour to record the session, then another 1 hour I used to go and listen it again. So daily I used to do give like 2.5 hours to see how my session is going to be, to bring to that 50 minutes precision. Because when you're speaking at the conferences, there is only a break of 10 minutes and there's the next speaker who has his or her session. So it's obviously not good manners to take someone else's time. So I always make sure that I practice my sessions so they finish on time, because if they finish before time, it's fine, but I should never take anyone else's time. So that's the first tip I would say if you're a first time public speaker. And obviously these days things are virtual, right? So you don't have to stand in front of 100 people, because I still see virtual events are still going on, though the world has opened up and we are having those in-person conferences. So don't worry about it, there are still virtual conferences. If you don't know, reach out to me. I know many user groups I can direct you to. But practice those sessions a lot, because there people are there, spending those 50 minutes to listen to you, and make sure you have a control on the topic you're talking about. So for example, if you're just talking about the basics of Power BI, then make sure when you're starting the session, you know reveal that in front of the audience what you're going to cover. So, audiences know what they're going to be learning in your session. So make sure you do that. And always, there are many situations when the speaker is not able to answer questions. Like I have never answered all the questions in all my events. I always say no, like I can come back to you guys because I don't know these things. Because not every, like as we discussed, not every one of us is expert in everything, right? For example, you're giving a session on Power Query, you are not expected to know every feature of Power Query, right? Because if you haven't used it before, you don't know about it. So don't panic if someone asks you a question, you don't know about it. It's okay to say no. So learn from for your first public speaking, it's okay to say no. And yeah, I think just practice and practice. It should be fine. Because once you have given your first session, from next session, you are all done, guys. It doesn't take much effort. It's just preparing your session. You have to just come up with content, prepare your session, just prepare the demos you want to show. That's it. You don't need that much of practicing. Maybe I practiced a lot, like 12 times recording and seeing it for my first public speaking session, but not everyone needs it. But yeah, just go and deliver it, and don't think about what people are going to, whether people are going to judge you on your knowledge or something. Just don't think about that, because here in community, I've seen everyone is so supportive. If you make a mistake, it's fine. Everyone makes a mistake. I've seen big speakers making mistakes in their, conferences, so in their sessions. So it's fine. You are a new beginner, so just don't worry about it. If you want to do it, just go and do it. Basically, that's what I did.
That's
Great
that's
tips. Great
completely
tips.
true. And looking at that, so last 2 to 3 years, most of us did virtual sessions.
Virtually.
And I have to admit, after 2 years coming back in front of, I don't know, 30, 50, 60 people, standing there, and I have to admit I had a stage fright. So come on, it's
Yeah.
not my monitor and microphone and camera anymore. Live people, they are really moving there, and
Yeah.
And
It
it
happened
looking
was
at
with
you, and
me. Yeah, it
yeah,
happened with me. I had my first in-person conference at SQL Bits, and I was on that panel sitting in front of 70, 60 people. And my mic was literally shaking in my hand. I mean, I don't know if people can judge that on the video, on the recording, but my mic was literally shaking because seeing those 60 people in front of me, I literally freaked out because I've never seen that many people in person after pandemic, and then suddenly I'm in a one of the biggest Europe's conference seeing so many people in the panel discussion. So but I think it's part of it's more like a first time thing. Once you are comfortable first time, either it is virtual or in person, next time you're okay. Because I was at MS Build and in an in-person discussion conference. So I was there in person, sitting in front of people and talking about things. But I already had that experience at SQL Bit, so I actually didn't freak out while seeing those people's in front of me. So I think there's only a first time thing. Once you have done it first time, then second time is so easy. I mean, trust me, it just goes so smoothly. It's too easy. So yeah, just go and do it if you want to do it. Don't think
and when
about anything.
we are doing today lots of community speeches and everything, just a reminder to everybody who is thinking of speaking. So, New Stars of Data conference
Yeah.
is call for speakers is out. So, if you are a new speaker, if you need a mentor, if you would like to start speaking, check it out on Sessionize or Google it. I think it's a great place to start. Nicola, you can confirm it, I'm sure.
yeah, I started there. So warm recommendation. It's extremely helpful because you get a mentor. Yeah, from my perspective, that's a huge advantage when you start speaking. So you get advices from someone who's been there, done that, and can share with you different tricks and tips how to prepare your session in a proper way. And yeah, so
Yeah,
new
and I
stars of
think
data.
just reach out to people in the community you need help, because I'm sure everyone will be ready to guide you through your first speaking session. There are many people already doing that, and I'm sure many will do it. I also do it to many people. So I mean, just come to us. I mean, we'll be more than happy to help you guys to get started with your speaking journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we are speaking about Power BI, going back to our main topic, let's say.
Topic.
Uh, what is the feature that you anticipate the most in this upcoming period? I mean, there were a lot of exciting things happening in last month or two with May update, I don't know, field parameters, and then on build, a lot of new features introduced.
Yes.
So what's something maybe that you don't anticipate, but you are looking forward to working with from those recent features, or the one that you are expecting in the next period?
So I think I would like to answer that in two ways. So first, what is one of my favorite feature that has come out in Power BI is field parameters, because it has actually made my life easier. So like, suppose on a report I had like 10 different bookmarks going on to give different kind of visual stories to users by different levels. But now that field parameter has suddenly changed everything to be, I can show my data at different levels. Even I can use field parameters to show different metrics or measures, right? If I want to show sales, if I want to show like total, I mean, transactional value or something. I mean, it has really completely changed my life. So that's one of the biggest feature for me right now I'm working on, because it has made, I'm sure, everyone's life easier. You can get rid
Yeah,
of those bookmarks,
yeah,
guys, in your reports now. Then the second thing, what I have been looking for, I mean, I haven't explored it yet, but I think people are talking a lot about data marts, because that was announced recently at Build, and that is going to change, I think, a lot of things in future. So that's something I'm looking forward to try out, which I haven't yet, but yeah, that's the feature I look forward to try.
yeah. Awesome.
From
Yeah,
my personal point of view, I think the biggest feature out there we were all waiting for 5 years is that interactive PowerPoint.
Oh yeah, that's no, you're right. You're right. I literally missed it. Yeah, I think that has again made our life easier while presenting stories to client, right? You can embed your Power BI report in PowerPoint slides now. So that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very great feature basically. Yeah.
Bookmark
And when
navigator, as
it,
Donald mentioned, that's also time saver.
Ah, yeah, bookmark navigator is time saver.
Time
We don't
saver,
have
yeah,
to create those page
yeah,
navigations now.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
uh,
I think everyone has got different views on this because as I said earlier as well, when you work on something, you feel a need of it and you understand what is important to you, right? So I'm sure everyone will have different views on what they really like about Power BI that has come out in last 2-3 months and what they're looking for. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, and many
talking
exciting
about,
features coming.
Oh yeah, many are
they
coming.
are talking about Power BI design or performance.
Performance for me because I think if we sort out the performance, design is going to be smooth anyway, right? So yeah, for me, performance. Anyways, I'm not like a person who creates very beautiful reports. I'm more like just create the reports that give you story, right? In the minimal work. So that's why I'm the performance person, not the design person. I'm sure there are people out there who really design amazing Power BI reports, and I look at them and I'm like, wow, people can do that. I still can't do that after 6 years. But yeah, for me, performance is the key thing I would stick to.
Two of us had a session on SQL Bits this year, and one of the slides was design for performance.
Ah,
Combine those two.
Combining those two, speaking about it, no, that's a question we always like to ask because it's depending on the background of a person. So if you are more in a design part, providing super nice reports, visuals, everything, you are more considering design part. But in the end, all of our report users would love to have
good
performance
performance.
reports looking good. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's right. But still, to yeah, I mean, I would still add. I mean, in the end, they want their reports to be loaded within no time,
it's true.
right? It doesn't matter how many visuals you add to your report or how much creativity you have on the report. In the end, it comes to the performance. If your report is taking like 20 seconds to load, I think the client will be like, come on, I don't want this report. I don't have that much time, right? So,
to
but
wait
yeah,
for
I
those nice visuals.
yeah, yeah, to wait for those nice visuals. So yeah, I think I'll still stick to performance, Augustine.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
And the thing is, talking about also previous guests and everything, what do you do when you're not doing Power BI? How Pragati is spending free time and relaxing from all those performance topics and everything?
I actually do painting. I mean, that's something I actually do when I'm not doing Power BI, or I
Can we
really
see
like
it?
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't have it anything in this room, but I've got my Instagram page, which people can actually, yeah, I mean, see. So yeah, that's
Picasso.
no, I'm not Picasso. Come on. Picasso is a different level, right? So it's not like something I do, but yeah, I've got my Instagram page, and that's what I do when I'm free, because sometimes I feel colors are very relaxing to me when I see those colors and there are no numbers in front of me, especially. So those colors inspire me, relax me. It feels like a meditation to me. And sometimes I just go and spend some time in my garden. I mean, I love gardening. I've got lot many things in my garden going on, so I just go and spend some time in gardening, doing things. Because these days, I mean, those who are not in London, guys, and Europe, these days we have got daylight till 9:30 or 10 p.m. at night. So after work I can actually go and spend some time in my garden, doing some things, watering my plants. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I do. I love listening to music. So yeah, I love traveling.
Optimizing Power BI reports in the garden.
No, no. I would never take my laptop to my garden, Nicola.
Just
No,
kidding, of course.
I literally like to take some break because sometimes it is too much because we work 9 hours, right? And then when we have that motivation towards doing some
Only nine
community
hours.
efforts, yeah, I work 9 hours. I log off at 6 p.m.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I log off at 6 p.m., guys. So it's 9 to 6 for me. And then after that, I spend some time on community as well, especially Power BI community, looking for answers or helping with answers. So I maximum give like an hour there. And then after that, I'm just off because my eyes just give me an indication. No, it's time to turn off your laptop. It's like that for me.
What are
So
the most challenging questions from Power BI community that you find?
I think
Is it
first thing,
come to certain topic related, or I don't know if it's related to DAX or
I think one topic is quite focused, and most questions I see is DAX. I mean, people write amazing DAX anyways. I mean, those who give those solutions. My solution is the most, most one. The one which won't be accepted, but I still try my luck. But yeah, DAX questions are pretty hard to answer. The reason is there is different way of writing a DAX expression, right? I may just write it using some other function, and some people who are pro at DAX, they may know some other way of writing things, right? So I think DAX questions are pretty much hard. And after that, I would also say Power Query transformations are also hard. Not everyone has got the same way of transforming data within Power Query. And those M codes can differ a lot. And sometimes a function in M code can make a lot of performance difference as well. So those are other questions I feel are there a lot on Power BI community. But I think that's how we learn as well. If we go and look at those kind of questions, it gives us an opportunity to frame answers and learn more about it. I mean, in the end, it doesn't matter whether my answer gets accepted or not. But I'm quite, convinced, and I appreciate myself that at least I've spent some time in looking at the problem and coming up with a solution. So that's like an achievement for
absolutely.
me.
Sorry for interrupting you, but that when you mentioned this, we had Phil Seamark a few months back,
Mhm.
and he also came into Power BI from SQL background, and we asked him about how he learned DAX, that he later wrote a
Okay.
book on DAX and so on,
Yeah.
and he explained similar to you. So he went to Power BI community forum. It was the from the time when he was not in Microsoft, obviously, and he was trying to help people to solve DAX problems,
Mhm.
and that way he learned DAX. So
Exactly.
that's a great advice also
Yeah,
for.
yeah, that's what I said, Nicola. DAX is something I rarely use. I mean, until I need it. But whatever I've learned is learned from Power BI community, from the smallest. I mean, learning a difference between sum and sum x was something I learned from the Power BI community because I never knew what's the difference between sum and sum x. What's why they have two functions there in DAX. I mean, that's the basic thing. I literally learned those things from the community. So that's why, I mean, when you guys ask what's the motivation behind helping people, so that's one of the motivation as well, because when I give back to the community, I also learn from the community. So that's
Yeah,
why I never say no to that.
absolutely, absolutely. Donald is suggesting some great resources, and yeah, that's a good motivation maybe to ask you,
Mhm.
what are your favorite learning resources other than Power BI community forum, and what would you suggest maybe to others
I think
where to go
what
for good tips and learning?
I think for tips and tricks, I literally follow anyone. Because the thing there is like I literally don't have a list of blogs. I would say like people just go and refer. I know, Nicola, you have got a great blog. And
Thank you.
I literally follow it. I mean, I literally wrote a Power BI learning resources blog on LinkedIn some time back where I have listed down few of the resources I follow a lot. So like for example, Guy in a Cube, I really like him. The way he, explains the concept, and suppose if I'm looking for some tips and tricks, I really like the way he explains it, so I really follow him on Power BI tips and tricks. And then Heavens Consulting, I mean, read Heavens, so his videos are pretty good. I really like the way he creates those interactive videos. I follow him. Then Kerbal is another forum. It's run by It's run by a lady. Sorry, I can't pronounce her name properly, but
Ruth.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
Ruth. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ruth. So her one is really really good. Then Melissa Coates, and obviously Nicola's blogs are pretty good, guys. He's very humble, but his blogs are really good because he explains really well in his blog. So just go and refer his blogs. Just search Data Mozart, so you'll find his blog there. And then yeah, I think I follow a few people in the community as well, guys. So it's not about their blogs, but sometimes I literally go and ask them the question, and they come back to me with the solution or the approach they would follow. So I really follow a few people like Greg Deckler in the community. Then I follow Parvinder Chana. He has started doing some great YouTube series right now, and his YouTubes are really great. His YouTubes are basically based on all the questions he picks from Power BI community. So whatever questions he gets there, he frames their solution in a video and posts it in the form of a video, and that's how he's doing that. I mean, it's an amazing blog. And obviously many people would say DAX, for DAX you can refer to SQL BI, or I mean obviously these people, but if you are not, I'm sure there are many simple DAX blogs you'll find. But yeah, I'm not a DAX person, so I really don't follow many blogs on DAX.
I
But
can
regarding
personally suggest for Dex because Donald mentioned him. Brian Grant, his
okay.
serious elements of Dex is amazing. So personally, I learned most Dex from this from his playlist. It's, I don't know, 40, 50 short videos,
Oh,
and
okay.
he explains so well all the concepts. And yeah, it's well worth watching, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's really good to start with or follow someone who really explains that thing from the basic level, because I've seen some people directly switch to the advanced level topics and they just start speaking
Yeah,
few things which people like us don't understand if we haven't worked, for example, with DAX. So it's always good to see
yeah,
that. And obviously Redacard is a very good
yeah. Reza, of course,
place you
yeah,
can go to, because they have written everything from basics to advanced,
yeah.
so you can find everything from basics in Power BI there. So
It's
if you're
like
a beginner,
encyclopedia for Power BI. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, you'll see everything in there in Power BI, starting from beginning till whatever new updates we get. They have got those kind of updates as well. So yeah, Radicard is kind of really great place to start your Power BI journey as well.
Yeah, we have a question from Andy
Mhm.
that he saw that you blogged about earning AI 900 certification last year, and
Mhm.
the question is, do you use AI visuals in your Power BI reports
Honestly, I
often or
have
not?
honestly I don't because I really don't feel a need for them most of the times. And I have seen, like, I have tried generating some forecasting charts before in my Power BI reports, but they technically didn't make any sense to me. So the number what they show didn't make sense to me. I mean, obviously it might have made sense to others, but not me. So I literally avoid using those kind of visuals in Power BI.
Yeah, if the composition tree counts as
Decomposition tree.
AI visual, then I'm using other than that
Oh yeah.
also.
Oh yeah. Decomposition
If
tree
it's
is not AI visual.
I don't know how they sometimes they talk about the composition tree as AI visual.
Oh,
I'm
is
not
it?
sure about
Okay.
that. Yeah, but
Okay, maybe
yeah,
that's something I'm not aware of, because I use decomposition tree on many reports
maybe I'm wrong, but I
to
heard few times, yeah, someone mentioned as
yeah.
an AI visual. So
Yeah, because I also don't
I
know if it
don't
is an
think
AI visual.
I don't think it should be there, because first time I used the composition tree, it was on a SharePoint on Performance Point Services by Microsoft, and it
Oh,
was a long time ago, and AI wasn't even a buzzword back then. So I don't know. Let's check it on one of our next episodes with somebody from Microsoft again. Where is it classified and how? But
yeah.
as you are a guest, Pragati, in Data Jazzers, and what music do you like? What Pragati is listening when you're trying to, I don't know, keep yourself motivated to answer another five questions on community forum?
I'm actually a very fan of old Bollywood classics. I mean, yeah, apologies, guys. I actually don't listen to English music because I don't understand most of it. So, I mean, obviously, my roots come from India. So, I really like old Bollywood classics, and especially my favorite singer is Lata Mangeshkar. So, I listen her a lot. I mean, she has done fantastic job by singing so many songs, which I may be singing for I may be listening for the next 20 years. So yeah, she's my favorite singer, and I just listen her songs.
That's good to hear. So, and it's always, we are always amazed when people. So this is a fifth episode, and everybody has something different. So if you put all the people together who were guests at Data Juzzers podcast, we would have a lot of different activities and a lot of different products. And you are the one we are always talking about. When we see those people, they need to bring something they are doing next to Power BI, and so you need to bring us a picture next time we see each other. So not a picture, a painting. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. I can get one for you guys. I'll make it and get it for you.
And
Data
maybe
Juzzers.
we can sell it for charity or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if you guys want to. But I was saying more like I can gift you guys. I can make something and gift both of you. But
Thank you.
it's up to you.
Thanks. So, Augustine, so far we have honey from New Zealand. We have beer from Seattle.
From
Jane.
Seattle, and drinking that beer in a hot tub on a balcony, so
Yeah.
don't forget it.
And from
Okay.
Will, I don't know what Will promised. So we are collecting souvenirs from our
Oh,
guests.
okay.
So
Yeah,
far,
I would
so
be
far
happy to
only
do that.
virtual, but yeah, one day.
Don't worry, I'll send it to you. Give me your address.
No worries. Thank you.
It was really a pleasure to have you here with us, Pragati. And just for the rest of you, so before we close today's session, next 2 months, so July and August, both of us are hopefully on vacation. If not, then something went wrong. So our next episode is in September 12th. So as always, every second Tuesday. And as there's two of us, Nicola and myself, we will bring two guests from the other side. So I will not let you know immediately who, but one of those Power BI pairs. So not many of those. So try to guess. So one of those duos from Power BI world. So
And it's not Data Jazzers duo.
Yeah. So follow news on our social channels to know who is coming. And Pragati, any closing words for the community out there? So what would you wish them?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me to your Data Jazzes show, because I was really looking forward to, like, someday I'll be there. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
The
I
day
really
has
enjoyed.
come.
Yeah, the day has come. So I really enjoyed catching up with you guys again. I know we already talk a lot virtually, but yeah, it was really great to be here. I think one word for the community. There could be many things, but yeah, I would say if you are getting help from the community, make sure you give back to the community in some way, because that really matters, guys. Because if there are people who are giving time to you to work on some problem with you or helping you with anything, then make sure you're giving back to someone else as well, because that's how that circle of helping within the community exists, right? Like, someone helped me, I help someone else, and maybe that person is going to help someone else. So that's how we are a big community here. So and that's why we call it like community rocks, right? Because everyone is here helping each other and they're giving back to someone else. So yeah, just go and help at least single person someday. So I'm sure you'll get something back in a better way.
That's wonderful
great
wrap up.
advice.
I won't add anything except thank you, Pragati, for joining us. Yeah, it was a real pleasure to having you with us today.
Thanks, Nicola. Thanks, Augustine.
Thanks everybody joining, and see you. Wish you all a nice summer. Take some rest, recharge some batteries, and we are back with you in September. So enjoy.
And yeah,
Enjoy.
don't forget to motivate someone to apply for Nicola's boot camp, because that's a
Thanks
very
for the
great
reminder.
initiative.
Just until midnight tonight, so hurry up.
Yeah, deadline is midnight, guys. So yeah, learn from the best here. So just go and do
I
it.
think the great trainers will be presenting to those people, so I can just say recommend
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah. Latest news coming tomorrow. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks
Have a
Thank
great
everyone
day.
for
you.
joining.
Bye. Thanks
Bye
everyone
bye.
for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.